Before you ever step onto a plane, there is one moment that quietly decides whether your trip starts smoothly or turns into stress, and it isn't security or boarding. It's that moment when you stand in front of a moving baggage carousel, watching suitcase after suitcase pass by, doing silent math in your head and hoping yours appears soon. Welcome back, travelers, and if you're new here, come on in and make yourself comfortable. My name is Mila, and I've been a flight attendant for more than 15 years, flying both domestic and international routes. I've spent more hours than I can count in baggage claim halls, watching relief, panic, and frustration play out in real time. You know that feeling. The buzzer sounds, the belt starts moving, and at first you're calm. Then a few minutes pass. You start thinking about what's in that bag. Do I have enough clothes if it doesn't show up? Did I pack my medication? Did I put my charger in there? It becomes a lottery, and nobody wants to lose. What most travelers don't realize is that in 2026, the rules of that lottery have completely changed. Over the last 18 months, airlines have transformed how luggage is handled. The systems are faster, more automated, and far less forgiving. I'm seeing more lost or orphaned bags than ever before, not because workers are careless, but because machines now run the show. These systems have zero tolerance for mistakes that humans use to correct on the fly. A small oversight that once didn't matter can now send your suitcase on an unintended vacation of its own. Today, I'm going to walk you through 12 updated industry-level tips for checking luggage in 2026. These are not the tired suggestions you've heard for years, like tying a ribbon on your handle. These are practical, behind-the-scenes insights that reflect how modern baggage systems actually work. We're going to talk about AI scanners, self-drop kiosks, automated sorting, and even one suitcase color you should stop buying immediately if you want your bag to come back to you quickly. Let's start with the biggest culprit behind lost bags right now, something we call the ghost tag phenomenon. In the past, a human being stood at key points along the conveyor belt and scanned your luggage tag with a handheld scanner. If there was an old sticker from a previous trip, they ignored it and scanned the newest one. Humans understood context. Those humans are gone. In major hubs like Atlanta, Dubai, and Heathrow, luggage now passes through 360-degree AI optical scanners that read every barcode at the same time. These scanners are incredibly efficient, but they are also extremely literal. If your bag still has small barcode stickers from an old trip, even those tiny bingo-style tags airlines stick on handles, the system doesn't know which one to trust. When the AI sees conflicting information, it doesn't pause to think. It sends your bag straight to manual resolution, which is essentially a holding area where bags wait for human intervention. That area is a black hole. Bags can sit there for hours, and if you have a connection, your suitcase is almost guaranteed to miss it. The fix is simple but non-negotiable. Before you leave your house, your suitcase must be a blank canvas. Remove every old sticker, barcode, and tag. Check the handles, the bottom, the sides, everywhere. Use adhesive remover if necessary. Those old travel stickers might feel sentimental, but in 2026, they are one of the fastest ways to lose your bag and spend days wearing the same outfit in a foreign city. Once your bag is clean, you're ready to face the next modern trap, one that catches travelers every single day at the airport and quietly strips them of their only proof that their bag was ever checked. That proof becomes critical the moment your bag leaves your hands, which brings us straight into one of the most dangerous traps of modern air travel, the self-drop receipt illusion. In 2026, airlines are aggressively steering passengers towards self-service bag drop kiosks. You scan your boarding pass, print your own tag, loop it around the handle, place the suitcase on the belt, and watch a machine swallow it whole. It feels efficient, clean, and reassuring. The danger is what happens next. When a human agent checks your bag, they scan it and hand you a physical claim check sticker. That sticker is not just a receipt, it is a legal acknowledgement that the airline has taken possession of your property. With self-drop machines, you are often asked whether you want a receipt printed or sent by email. Many travelers choose email only, thinking it's cleaner or faster. That choice can cost you everything. I have personally seen cases where the email receipt never arrived, went to spam, or was delayed by system errors. When those passengers showed up at baggage services to report a missing bag, they had no physical claim check and no digital proof. The airline database showed no checked bag associated with their ticket, and suddenly the burden of proof shifted entirely onto the traveler. Without that tiny square of paper, it becomes your word against a flawed system. Always print the physical receipt, every time. Stick it immediately to the back of your passport or boarding pass. That bag tag number printed on it is the single most important identifier in the entire tracking system. Once your bag is officially in the system, you need to protect yourself financially because insurance processing in 2026 is no longer human-driven at the start. This is where the video audit becomes essential. The night before your flight, lay everything out and record a slow, clear video of exactly what you're packing. Narrate it calmly. Show brands, labels, electronics, shoes, and valuables. Then film yourself placing the items into the suitcase and zipping it shut. This isn't paranoia, it's preparation. Claims are now processed first by AI systems that compare your reported loss against statistical traveler profiles. If you claim high-value items without proof, the system flags it as suspicious. Video evidence bypasses those flags because it's considered high-veracity documentation. I helped a passenger recover thousands of dollars simply because she had a 2-minute video proving what was inside her bag. Without it, she would have received a minimal flat payout. With documentation handled, we need to talk about the suitcase itself because not all luggage survives the modern baggage environment equally. Hardshell suitcases became popular because they look sleek and protective, but cheap hardshells are cracking at record rates. Automated loaders now stack bags tighter and higher than humans ever did, combine heavy weight with cold cargo holds and brittle plastic fails. Once a hardshell cracks, it can split open mid-journey, spilling contents across the system. If you're buying luggage now, either invest in high-quality, flexible polycarbonate designed to bend and recover, or choose soft-shell ballistic nylon. Soft bags absorb pressure instead of fracturing, and they perform far better in automated systems. Durability matters more than appearance in 2026. Liquids introduce another hidden delay. Modern CT scanners look for density anomalies resembling liquid explosives. When travelers pack all toiletries together in one dense cluster, the scanner flags the bag for manual inspection. That inspection delays your luggage and often leads to messy repacking. Spread liquids throughout the bag instead of stacking them. Create visual separation so the scanner sees individual items, not one solid mass. Pressure changes are real, so seal bottles with plastic, wrap under the cap. It's a small step that prevents arriving to find your clothes soaked in shampoo. Even with perfect packing, timing still matters. Many travelers book short connections because the website allows it. Bags don't run, humans do. In massive hubs, checked luggage needs time to move through miles of conveyor belts. Anything under 90 minutes puts your bag at serious risk of missing the flight, even if you make it yourself. And just when travelers think they've avoided every pitfall, there's one modern convenience that creates a new problem entirely: smart luggage, and the battery rules that can quietly ground your suitcase before it ever leaves the airport. That problem shows up most clearly with smart luggage, which many travelers love for its built-in chargers, but don't fully understand from a safety perspective. Lithium-ion batteries are treated very seriously in aviation, and in 2026, enforcement has become much stricter. If you are checking a smart bag, the battery must be removable, not optional, not negotiable. If the battery cannot be removed, the bag is not allowed to fly in the cargo hold. Some airlines now perform random spot checks at bag drop and will ask you to physically remove the battery on the spot. If it requires a screwdriver or partial disassembly, you may be forced to repack or abandon the bag entirely. The safest approach is simple. Remove the battery before you arrive at the airport and place it in your carry-on. Never check loose lithium batteries, power banks, or vape devices. Modern scanners detect them instantly. When detected, bags are often pulled aside, opened, and sometimes left behind while the prohibited item is removed. That delay alone can separate your bag from your flight. Even if your bag clears security, there is another identity issue most travelers don't think about until it's too late. Look around any baggage carousel and you'll notice something immediately. Almost every bag is black. In an automated system, when an external tag is torn off, visual identification becomes critical. If your bag is described as a medium black suitcase, you are describing thousands of identical items currently moving through the system. This is why visual distinction matters more than ever. Ribbons are not enough and often get ripped off by machinery. Instead, use thick, brightly colored luggage straps, bold stickers, paint pens, or choose a suitcase color that stands out. Red, teal, yellow, or patterned bags are far easier to locate when something goes wrong. A unique bag is easier to find in a warehouse full of anonymous rectangles. External tags are still vulnerable, which is why inside identification is no longer optional. If every label on the outside disappears, Your bag becomes a mystery unless it contains clear information inside. Place a printed sheet at the top of your clothes with your name, phone number, email, flight number, date, and destination. Make it the first thing visible when the bag is opened. Baggage agents rely on this more than you might expect, and it can reduce recovery time from weeks to hours. Mechanical damage is another growing issue. Spinner wheels protrude and take the brunt of automated handling. If a wheel is loose, cracked, or wobbly, do not check that bag. Diverter arms inside sorting systems snap weak wheels easily, leaving you dragging a broken suitcase across the terminal. Tighten screws, inspect wheels before every trip, and tape down any loose straps on duffels or backpacks to prevent them from being torn off by machinery. All of these precautions reduce risk, but even when everything is done right, one final decision at the gate can undo it all if you don't understand what you're agreeing to. That decision usually comes disguised as a favor, announced casually at the gate when overhead bins start to fill. You'll hear a cheerful offer asking for volunteers to check carry-on bags to the final destination for free. It sounds helpful, even generous, especially if you're tired of lifting your bag. But this is where many travelers unknowingly increase their risk. Gate-checked bags do not follow the same tracking and handling process as bags checked at the counter. When a bag is checked at the counter, it enters the full digital tracking system from the beginning. Gate-checked bags are added later, sometimes manually, and often with less redundancy in scanning. They are also handled under time pressure. Instead of moving through the controlled sorting system, they are rushed down jet bridge stairs and loaded quickly to avoid departure delays. That speed increases the chance of rough handling and damage. This matters most if your carry-on contains electronics, medications, or fragile items. Once you volunteer, the airline is not responsible for damage to many of those items. I've seen laptops cracked, souvenirs shattered, and medical equipment mishandled because passengers assumed gate checking was safer or more direct. If you do choose to gate check, remove anything valuable or breakable first. If you can't remove it, don't volunteer. Even with careful choices, delays and disruptions still happen, and that's where knowing your rights becomes critical. In 2026, regulations in many countries, including the United States, require airlines to refund baggage fees when bags are delayed beyond a reasonable period. That refund is automatic in theory, but in practice, it often requires follow-up. More importantly, airlines are responsible for reimbursing reasonable expenses incurred while you wait for your bag. Here's where many travelers lose leverage. At the baggage service desk, agents are trained to offer the fastest, lowest-cost solution first. That usually means a small toiletry kit or a future travel voucher. Accepting a voucher immediately may waive your right to cash reimbursement. You are allowed to decline politely and instead purchase necessary items like clothing, toiletries, or medication replacements. Keep your receipts. Submit them through the airline's claim system and reference applicable regulations. Calm firmness works far better than frustration. Understanding compensation rules turns a stressful delay into a manageable inconvenience. It allows you to focus on your trip instead of arguing at a counter. Combined with preparation, documentation, and smart packing, this knowledge puts control back in your hands. All of these strategies serve one purpose. They reduce uncertainty in a system that no longer adapts well to human error. And when you understand how the machines think, you can pack, tag, and decide in ways that keep your belongings moving smoothly alongside you. That smooth movement is ultimately about working with the system instead of fighting it, and nowhere is that more important than identification. External luggage tags are helpful, but they are also fragile. Conveyor belts, rubber flaps, and high-speed diverters regularly tear them away. When that happens and the adhesive barcode has also been scraped off, your suitcase becomes anonymous. At that point, the airline's only option is to open it and search for clues, which adds delay and uncertainty. This is why internal identification is one of the most effective protections you can add. Place a clearly printed sheet of paper right on top of your clothes, not buried at the bottom. Include your full name, phone number, email address, flight number, date of travel, and final destination. Make it the first thing visible when the bag is opened. Baggage agents rely on this more than travelers realize, and it often turns a mystery bag into a quick reunion. Mechanical wear deserves equal attention. Wheels are the weakest point of modern luggage, especially spinner wheels that protrude from the frame. Automated systems don't gently guide bags the way humans once did. They shove, divert, and stack them at speed. A wheel that seems slightly loose at home can snap cleanly off inside the system. Before every trip, check that all wheels spin smoothly and are firmly attached. Tighten screws if possible. If a wheel feels unstable, don't check that bag. Straps create another hidden risk. Duffel bags and backpacks with loose straps are magnets for machinery jams. When a strap gets caught, the system doesn't slow down to save your bag. It either rips the strap off or pulls the bag into a shutdown area. Secure every loose strap tightly against the body of the bag using tape or a strap wrap. This simple step can prevent destruction and system delays. Visual identification also plays a role once bags reach the carousel. Black luggage dominates airports, and in an automated environment, similarity is a disadvantage. If your bag looks like everyone else's, it's harder to locate when something goes wrong. Bright colors, bold straps, or distinctive markings make recovery faster and reduce the chance of someone else accidentally taking your bag. All of this preparation leads to one final truth about modern travel. You are no longer just packing for yourself, you are packing for machines that read density, color, shape, and data. The easier you make your bag to scan, sort, and identify, the less likely it is to be flagged, delayed, or mishandled. And even with every precaution taken, it's still important to know exactly what to do if the system fails, because the final outcome often depends on how you respond in those first critical moments after landing. Those first moments after landing are where preparation proves its value. If your bag doesn't appear, don't leave the secure area. Go directly to the baggage service office while the flight is still active in the system. Have your claim receipt ready and provide clear, specific details. This is where distinct colors, internal identification, and documentation make recovery faster and far less stressful. If the bag is delayed, not lost, remember that you are entitled to reimbursement for reasonable essentials. Buy what you truly need, keep every receipt, and submit them calmly through the airline's claim process. Avoid accepting vouchers until you understand what rights you may be giving up. Cash reimbursement remains your strongest option. Modern baggage handling relies on speed, automation, and data, not flexibility. When travelers adapt their habits to match that reality, problems drop dramatically. Cleaning old tags, spreading liquids, choosing safe connection times, and documenting contents are small actions with large consequences. Checking a bag will always require trust, but trust works best when paired with preparation. The goal isn't perfection, it's reducing uncertainty. When you do that, travel becomes smoother, calmer, and far less stressful. You step off the plane confident, knowing you've done everything possible to ensure your belongings arrive right alongside you.